is streaming. Hello and welcome back to Alabama Film Community Live. I'm Alan Rhodes, and I have my son with me tonight, Adam Rhodes, and we will be talking about some of the things that have gone on here at Longleaf Studios over the last couple of weeks. As you know, Longleaf Studios is a film studio here in Northeast Alabama associated with Jacksonville State University. And 2 weeks ago, on March the 19th, we had a tornado come through Jacksonville. And so we've taken the last 2 weeks off as our crew was all safe, and but we had to make sure that everybody could get back safely each night, since there was a large portion of North Jacksonville that had tornado damage, including the university, where Merrill Hall, Brewer Hall, the communication building, 2 dorms, the International House, and many, many more were pretty heavily damaged during the tornado that we experienced. And it was considered an F3 tornado, and it's the first time in my life that we've had a tornado come through Jacksonville itself where this kind of damage was done, especially at the university. So tonight we're going to do a couple of things. We'll take care of some Longleaf Studios activities and talk about those first, and then we're going to play some of the YouTubes that have been out, that have been made by the PR department at Jacksonville State, that will give you information if you're a student or a member of a family, parent of a student, as to what's going on over the next few days as Jacksonville State students begin to come back to the university. And we're going to let the University Public Relations, Public Affairs Department tell us all about that. But first, let me talk about a few things. Tomorrow, well, Thursday night of this week, we will be showing a movie again from our Southern Circuit film series, and this one is called Bending the Arc. And I'm going to let Brenda get that ready, and we'll show a little short clip on Bending the Arc. But it starts again this Thursday night at 6 o'clock. The doors will open. 7 o'clock the movie will show, and the director will be here. We'll be able to ask them questions about how they produced this film, its distribution, cost, and those kinds of things, as well as there's probably some really interesting questions that you would have from the film itself. And we'll show the clip right now. And so, Brenda, if you've got that ready, I'll let you go ahead and put that on while I'm talking, and here it is. This is Bending the Arc, and this is a short clip.
Il n'y a pas l'hôpital défecté, j'aime dire qui j'ai des maladies qui me défait. Eh bien, celle ça a été fait pour moi. Il était uniquement préparer tout testament. Je l'ai mis d'abord ici de l'hôpital Cange. Docteur Polo te dit non, je ne peux pas mourir.
I went to Haiti in 1983. I hadn't even started medical school. I met the people who would become my best friends and coworkers.
I had never seen such abject misery in my life.
We started going house to house, and the people were so sick.
And I thought, how can we get this fixed?
Jim and Paul were constantly going back and forth, and they would borrow things from some of the hospitals.
I would put the medicine in these big suitcases. They usually thought I was a tourist.
As soon as we opened the clinic doors, it was every possible disease you could imagine.
Elle a besoin d'urgence tout de suite.
She's dying. I think it's too late.
This was life or death. Getting medicines down there was life or death. And everything was conspiring against us.
The scientific community hated it. They said it's not sustainable, it's silly, this could never be replicated.
We could not administer the program because we don't have the doctors.
In that script, we are uneducated, of course, stupid.
If you've traveled to rural Africa, you know this. People do not know what watches and clocks are.
None of our patients have died. One person died a few days after starting therapy because we started too late.
It took us from being outsiders right into the middle of the debate.
The results were dramatic and transformative.
We decided this could be something like a movement.
You are accountable to who? People are dying, my brother.
Rwanda is the most dramatic arc to a recovery.
Threats of the deadly Ebola virus landing in the East African region.
All borders are informed and screen anyone coming in Rwanda.
Tout monde c'est moun. Si moi-même k'ap viv jodi am tareme.
To me, this is about hope, and it's about rejecting despair and cynicism.
And there you have it. That was Bending the Arc, and it's going to be shown here at Longleaf Studios this Thursday night. So go online to longleafstudios.com and find the Southern Circuit Film TV series link and register. We do need you to register if you would. That way we get a really good count of the people coming, and we're able to provide all the refreshments and stuff for the film that night. Again, at 6 o'clock we'll open the doors, 7 o'clock the film starts, and it'll last a little bit longer than an hour with question and answers following that. We will live stream on Thursday night, either from this room or out there at the studio. We're going to try to decide whether we want to move out there and not try to move twice during the show. But Adam, that's gone really well for the last two independent films that we've shown in here, the live streams and the question and answer sessions.
Absolutely.
So I want to talk about one other thing coming up. On the 14th of April, we had Wendy Robinson in here as one of our guests. And Wendy has worked crew, but she's also written a film, an independent film called On Places Thin, and there will be the casting call that was called off due to the tornado here in Jacksonville. We're going to bring it back around on April the 14th. It's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. For any people who would like to be a part of that, you can go out on YouTube and look for the video called On Places Thin. She's got a short sizzle reel out there on that, and it's on Places Thin. On Places Thin, the movie @gmail.com is a place to send an email or resume. But Wendy is doing all her due diligence to get everything ready for this indie film. And if you'd like to be a part of that, be a part of the crew, actors, that whole kind of thing, we will be here from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on April the 14th. And that's On Places Thin, the movie. Now, acting in film camp at Jacksonville State University has been one of the, at Longleaf Studios here at Jacksonville State, has been one of the great things we've done over the last few years. But this year we're going to have an acting day camp from June the 18th through the 22nd. We'd like to have you join that, come out with us. We can handle about 18 to 20 students. It'll be a great day camp. It's $250 per student. It goes from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., so you don't have to stay in the dorm that week. But the next week is our regular film technology camp, and that will be a great camp this year. It was good last year. A lot of students said they'd like to come back. That's a $400 per student event, but if you'd like to attend both of them, the cost is only $500. The second week, you actually get to stay in the dorm, eat meals. We go from 8 a.m. in the morning till real late in the evening on those days. We will produce a film of some kind that year. We're still working on the script now, and it will be posted in the next few weeks, so you'll have a chance to actually look the script over. And if you'd like to be a part of that. Adam, you were a part of that last year. What role did you play in film camp?
I played a role in, I played...
Now, you were a zombie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I forgot that name. It starts with a G.
You forgot what role you played as far as like grip?
Grip.
Yeah,
Grip. My mind's wrapped around it, yeah.
Yeah, you're still thinking about the weather that we've had, right?
Oh,
so,
sure.
And that may be coming in later tonight. But yeah, Adam was a grip. We had photographers. We had film people. We had B-roll being shot. Brenna, who is switching tonight's show. She was one of the directors as far as editors. And Brenna, I think you're still working on the blooper reel, right? I heard a there. So anyway, the blooper reel from last year will be out. We'll try to show that on one of our Tuesday nights as well, coming up pretty soon. But I also want to thank David Finlinson, who is now home from the hospital in Gadsden. David, we miss you and hope things are going well. Everybody here has been thinking and praying for you and your family, and I know the heart surgery went well, and we believe things are going to get better for you. But just wanted to mention you tonight, and hope that you can come back to our classes on Tuesday and help us with film camp and other things coming up in the rest of the year. Well, Adam, one reason I've got you up here is you had the opportunity, because of the tornado, to actually go out and do some film work for Sebastian at JSU, who needed somebody to go videotape some segments for their stuff that they're putting out about the tornado and what to do. So how was that?
That was very, very interesting. I enjoyed it in every way.
What did you have to do?
Well, I had to set up the camera for certain interviews that Sebastian told me to set it up for. I set it up the way that it should be set up, and I put it, if you want it this place, that place.
So you picked location, you were able to do sound, and then and set your white balance, ISO, and all of that on.
Set all of that.
What kind of camera did you use?
We used a Lumix, I think, 2500.
Okay. So you were able to go out, set that up, come back, and Sebastian was able to take that and turn that into a couple of videos that are out. You also videotaped Dr. Beeler's first event that when he first got back, and that was posted on JSU's site as well as Longleaf's. I know everybody was wondering what in the world's going on with the tornado, and Dr. Beeler addressed that, and they've been really good at getting information out. And tonight we have some of those clips that Sebastian and Tim Garner's group have been putting out, along with the others there in the public affairs and public relations and from the front office. And so we're going to show some of those. But while we're at it, there is some bad weather moving in through the south tonight. And so we wanted to take a look for our crew and for everybody else at the radar. So if you would, I'm going to turn around and change the screen here. And while I'm doing that, we'll take a look, and I'm going to let Adam kind of drive this while I talk a minute. But, technology has gone so far where you can now look at radar. You can listen to weather guys from Birmingham to Huntsville, and even out, in Arkansas right now, where there's some severe weather taking place. And Adam, there are no tornado warnings at this point, right, on the radar?
Only in Kentucky.
Okay, so they're pretty far north of us right now. So let's look at Alabama and see what's coming through. Memphis right now is the squall line, and out in front of that, if you would, don't move it around so much, son, is what's taking place through Memphis, and that looks like some very heavy rain. And they have had some tornadic and severe thunderstorm activity throughout the day today out west. The timeline, according to the meteorologist, and we are not a meteorologist, is for our area here in northeast Alabama, somewhere between 10 o'clock and 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We need to be watching for that. So I'm going to let Adam go to the Birmingham radar. And for those of you who don't know, we're sitting in northeast Alabama in Anniston, Jacksonville, Calhoun County area. So Gadsden is to our north, Anniston is to our south, and Jacksonville experienced on the 19th of this month its first F3 tornado that came through, took out a lot of our student housing in the apartments and even on campus. And so right now we can see on this radar there's just a bunch of clutter, stuff moving north, but it's not really even any rain. It does look like some rain's beginning to move into northwest Alabama and develop out there. So it will be later tonight, maybe real early in the morning, and it is expected to begin to diminish as it goes through the night. So we don't expect to have the kind of weather that we had. But, even the 2 weeks before that, Adam, there was a small straight line, they say, but possible tornado that moved through, took down some trees on West Mountain here in Jacksonville. kind of as a precursor to what we were to see a week later. But you can see here on the Alabama radar that there's nothing to see at this point. It's all, and Adam, you can scan back up to the left, coming through Memphis, northwest Mississippi, northwest Tennessee right now. So for those of you who are wondering, now we're going to get into kind of our heads as well as Dr. Beeler, so that you would know as a student, parent, or anybody else who may be doing business with Jacksonville State, what's going on in our community. So Brenda, if you would, go ahead and play the one from Dr. Beeler, and we'll see that right now, and then we'll come back, talk a second, and go to another one from one of the department heads.
Hello, Jay. We were really on spring break and very few people were here. So in that way, that's the biggest blessing of this entire catastrophe that we've had here at JSU. First thing I want all of you to know is that everything is going to be all right. We will rebuild. We are resilient Gamecocks. We are strong Gamecocks. And one thing we do when we take it on the chin is we jump right back up and we keep fighting. And we're going to keep fighting. We're going to rebuild this campus, and it's going to be even more beautiful than ever. And we really want you to help us to rebuild this campus. We have a strong organization that we've put together to make sure we get this project done. It's a very disaster is that we restored power. Alabama Power did a wonderful job getting power back to the campus ASAP, and we want to thank them for that. We have substantially cleaned up all debris and trees, so by the time you get back, the debris and the trees that were fallen will be pretty much removed. So that's good news. And then the other thing is we've mitigated further damage. We try to make sure that by covering things up and removing things that we won't have more damage due to maybe the rains that might come in the next few days. So we have plans for bringing everyone back to campus, which is our ultimate goal. We want to resume and get back to normal operation as soon as possible. However, our key concern is your welfare and your safety. We want to make sure that we don't bring you back too soon so there's danger, because we're going to have trucks and cranes and chainsaws and all kinds of things going on campus to try to get everything rebuilt. So we want to make sure that your ultimate safety is taken care of. So we've changed our plans slightly. We are going to have all the students come back to campus on Thursday, April 5th. Okay, so you will return on Thursday, April 5th. And then on Friday and Saturday, April 6th and 7th, we're going to have a one-stop shop in TMB Auditorium so that you can come and get help with virtually everything. We want to make sure that you can choose your options for your individual courses, and I'll go over those options again in a short period of time here. We're going to help you to register for summer and fall classes and to look into your financial aid and scholarships. We're going to plan for commencement, and we're going to help you with counseling, because we know this is very tough on a lot of people who've been through this, and we want to make sure everybody is able to deal with the issues that they face. On Monday, April 9th, we will resume classes normally. And what we're going to do, since we've lost a week or two, is that instead of having a normal finals week, we're going to make finals week into the last week of classes so that we'll be able to make up a lot of the work that needs to be made up. As you know, we will have 3 options for you for your courses. The first option is you can take the grade that you've earned so far in a given course. That's the first option. The second option is you can take an incomplete in that course and then finish up the work in a short period of time. And the third is just to resume classes normally. But I need to let you know that it's important that you get advised and you make the decision with the help of your faculty and your advisors, because there are ramifications for accreditation and ramifications for degree requirements. So you won't necessarily be able to just take the grade in certain courses and certain majors. So you have to make sure that that decision is made in conjunction with your advisors and your faculty members. That's very, very important. Because of the damage to our Coliseum as a result of the tornadoes, we're going to have commencement at our football stadium. So we'll have one big commencement ceremony at our football stadium. It's scheduled for May 4th, which is a Friday. However, just in case there's bad weather or severe weather, I want you to keep your calendars open for May 5th and 6th, Saturday or Sunday, because if we have bad weather on Friday, we'll have to move the graduation ceremonies to either Saturday or Sunday, depending on the weather forecast. So tell all your family and friends who are going to come to commencement that to leave the entire weekend open, and because we have nowhere else to go but the football stadium, so we'll pick the right date and we'll keep you apprised as to the exact time and date of the commencement ceremonies. One thing I just want to leave you with is that, you know, when you go through life, you're going to be dealt certain cards, and we're all judged on how we react to the things that hit us. And I think all of us need to know that we're under a lot of stress, and this is not an easy situation, but that it's how we react that we're going to be judged in the future. So it's very important that all of us work together as a team in a Gamecock Nation, and we do what we can to complete the semester, have a great graduation, and then move on to summer and fall terms, because we will rebuild and we will be better than ever, and our campus will be even more beautiful than ever. So go Gamecocks and fear the beak.
Thank you. That was Dr. John Beeler of Jacksonville State University, who has given us some updates as to what to expect over the next few weeks. And I hope that if you need to know more about that, please go to JSU's YouTube page and their Facebook page, as well as you can find that directly at the Jacksonville State University homepage. It'll link you to all of that. But Adam, just real quick story. You and I were watching the weather that night.
Yep.
And saw this thing coming in. We were watching Birmingham meteorologist kind of give us some information on that, and we, got together in time and went to the bathroom. What was your thoughts of the tornado? Because you could hear it, right?
Yeah, we could hear that. Kind of started out kind of a normal thing.
Did it scare you?
Yeah.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
And you and I have been chasing tornadoes for years,
Yeah.
but because you are in a house where it was kind of iffy when the power went out, it was a bit scary, was it not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you feel the house expand and go down as the?
A little bit.
Yeah, I did too. What did you hear?
Some people would say it's a train, but it's necessarily.
What did you hear?
A train. Yeah.
Okay.
I heard basically the same thing.
You heard trees snapping and all that kind of stuff, and it was about a block behind us.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, we had a lot of friends that were involved in this, and a lot of people have come into town, and we want to thank all of the first responders, all of the fire responders, all of the medical responders that came into town. I got out a little bit after the tornado came through and saw how bad the damage was and went back. There just was no reason for anybody to be on the road. But there were some friends of mine that were out around the Coliseum that night directing traffic, and they were telling me just how bad it was then. But even then, I don't think everybody knew how bad it was that night as it came through and took out a couple of dormitories, a little bit of Self Hall, and the Merrill Building. Speaking of the Merrill Building and all that, we have something from Dr. Fielding, but let's go first to Dr. Rebecca Turner, who is the Provost Marshal here, our Provost at Jacksonville State. And Dr. Turner also gave us a message on some of the things that we can expect over the next few weeks. And this is Dr. Turner.
Well, I've never seen anything like this in my life, but certainly not at JSU. Now, I did see the tornado at Alabama, the University of Alabama, in Tuscaloosa in 2011 because my son was enrolled in law school at the time, but it was nothing like this. Right. It didn't hit the campus.
Let's talk about the students. I mean,
sure.
Academics, and thank goodness it was spring break.
Thank goodness.
It could have been really bad.
I think that we all have a lot to be thankful for in that regard. I like to think that we didn't lose a life because it was spring break. I don't know if that's true, but it certainly is a blessing that no lives were lost and very few injuries occurred.
Let's talk about how JSU has responded. I mean, it's amazing all the things that happened so fast, just a week and 1 day later.
A week and 1 day later, and I've been here the whole time. So the night that the tornado hit, I was at home, and I live in the south part of town, so my home was not affected. But I knew that the university had a direct hit as soon as they reported it. And then the sirens started. What I was most impressed about, I'm telling you, I have never seen a team come together and work together so effectively as this JSU team has come together and worked. David Thompson and his crew in Capital Facilities and Physical Plant have been just amazing, and they immediately had in contractors who could help us with some of the really complicated work that had to be done and the cleanup, and it continues today, and the campus still isn't ready for its full enrollment of students or its full number of employees to be on campus. It's just not ready yet, but it will be ready Monday, April the 9th. I'm convinced of that because of the hard work that's gone into getting it ready and getting it safe.
There's been a lot of rumors out there and things online that the spring semester is not going to occur. That's not true.
Not true. We're going to finish spring semester, and we're going to finish it successfully. We have developed a number of options that can be used. We've decided to also use the typical final exam week as the last week of classes. And faculty who need to give a final exam will give it during that class period, or if they have projects or some other way of assessing student learning, then they can do that week. That gives them a whole extra week to get the work done. Not just the faculty, but the students as well. Because many of our students have lost access to their computers and their classroom materials and things like that. Their course materials are still in the dormitory here on campus, and they're not here. So we have to be understanding of all those circumstances. Every single student has a circumstance. Every faculty has a circumstance. Every academic program has a unique circumstance. And all of that has to be taken into account as we complete the semester, but we will finish, and we will finish strong.
Let's talk about housing a little bit.
All right.
So many stories out there, especially the apartments off campus. I know some of those people are cleaning out their apartment this morning. They're giving them 2 hours to get everything out. And then they can't come back in. I mean, that's devastating.
It's a devastating loss. We do. And I know that our university housing and residence life staff have already, yesterday, now today's number may be different, it probably is a little higher, but yesterday they had over 200 students who had been displaced from some of those facilities to be in contact with our housing office, and we are helping them find housing on campus.
Great. We're here to stay, right?
We are here to stay. And I do believe, I'm a social worker. That is my discipline. And I've worked crisis intervention all my life, and I know about response and recovery and grief and loss. And I have nothing but respect and admiration for the staff that we have on JSU's campus who have just rolled up their sleeves and done what they needed to do to respond to the needs of the students and our employees. And I just feel that when we get past this semester that we want to complete, in the best way possible and have graduation at the time that we scheduled it on time. It won't be in the Coliseum, but it will be in the stadium. So we've got plenty of room there for everybody to attend. And that is our goal, to get to that place. And I have no doubt that the people who've responded will be here throughout that process to help us get to that place. We have needs we don't even know about yet. Our students haven't come back to campus yet. So I was talking with one of the emergency response workers yesterday, and she said, this kind of emergency incident on your campus during spring break is different than any other, because you have people here now, people who will come here later, who haven't been through the process of seeing the damage, thinking about what to do with it, making the plans they need to make, getting the information they need to complete their courses. So we've still got some of that to go through. It's a phase-in kind of process, and that's very different. I'm Dr. Becky Turner, and I'm Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs at Jacksonville State University. We are JSU Strong.
Wow, thank you, Dr. Turner, for all that great information about what's going on at Jacksonville State University. And I hope if you're a parent of a child that's going there, or if you're a student, that was some good information for you. Hey, I've got in my hand right now a new camera stabilizer, and we're going to be using that here in our film class to get people used to using a stabilizer. And yeah, Brenda, you can take it now. Let's see what Adam looks like on here. But yeah, see, it gives you a lot of ability to move the camera and pan it in and out. And we'll be shooting this on campus in the next few weeks. But I just wanted everybody to know that Longleaf, we have a Ronin M camera stabilizer, as well as the handheld for an iPad or an iPhone that will allow you to kind of train on what a camera stabilizer would do, and how it would, just kind of give you that really cool shot, so that, that kind of thing. So anyway, just wanted you to see that. Nice little stabilizer that we're using here at Longleaf, and I'll be sure to turn it off right now so that when I set this down, it doesn't take off and go spinning all over the table while we're sitting here. But anyway, thank you, Dr. Turner, for that, and we're here at Longleaf Studios. Remember, Longleaf is very operational. We did not have any damage during the storm event, the tornado that came through here. We do have a radar going behind us right now. If you'll take the other camera, you'll be able to see that. And Adam tracks weather for me, and we do a little bit of storm chasing, and have done that for about as long as he's been alive. But Adam, you're kind of a veteran storm chaser at 15 years old, and it's kind of important to have the ability to track storms with the phone and iPad and those kinds of things.
It's very important. So you have to have it if you're going to stay up with storm chase.
What's your favorite app for tracking storms?
RadarScope.
RadarScope, okay, and that's what we're seeing.
Yes.
Behind us right now, and as we speak, if they'll go ahead and take the radar, it looks like that the storms are coming through northern Mississippi right now, beginning to pop a little bit near Florence, northwest Alabama. This is moving more in a linear fashion right now, and storms are coming from the southwest to the northeast. Kind of different than what we had on the 19th, where they were mostly going east and even right turners, so that they turned right instead of going from northwest to southwest to northeast, like we normally see. But Adam, what do you see on that radar right now?
More of a squall line, more or less than just cells. They're more
so the Storms Prediction Center has issued a severe thunderstorm watch for a good part of North Alabama. It is not a tornado watch; it is a severe thunderstorm watch. So that's indicating that over the next few hours, these storms will probably die down. There may be some strong gusty winds, some hail. So if you're thinking about the weather, as we all do after an event like we had last week, there's a good way to get the weather there. And we had it up until the moment the power went out on the 19th, and it was giving us a very, very good look at the cells and tornadoes that were coming across in East Alabama on the 19th. So But Adam has been watching these for a while, and again, even tonight, he was telling me just how much the storm helicity and the Cape values and all this stuff, which most of it is well beyond me in weather, but he watches that very closely. So this should go on through tonight and be gone by in the morning is what we think, right?
It should be in a little bit of a chilly morning tomorrow.
A little cooler in the morning, a couple of days with possible frost in North Alabama. So while we've given you kind of the update on the weather, and again, we're not meteorologists, so don't take this to the bank. Go ahead and watch a local weather forecast for your real weather. Just wanted to give you a chance to see the radar for those of you who are in Jacksonville, and I think that gives us all a sense of ease that it's going to be quieting down here in a little bit. We have a couple of more videos that we want to show right now, and I think she's got Dr. Fielding hooked up, but we're going to go through a couple of the schools who have put out their videos on what the condition of the building is for them. They're going to be a little bit shorter than the last two that we've seen, and we'll be able to know a little bit more about what you need to do next week, particularly about getting back to school, getting into the buildings that you were or used to going to school, where you're going to be going to classrooms in the next few weeks. Of course, class starts back on the 9th here at Jacksonville. Fortunately, all of the students, Adam, were out during for spring break. We didn't have as many students here on the 19th, but we will be back on the 9th. There's quite a bit going on as all the teachers are back tomorrow, and all the financial prep and your counselors will be here, and you need to be contacting them. So right now, let's go and listen to 3 more. We'll be back after each one, but we'll listen to at least 3 more of the department heads or directors of certain schools talk to us. And I believe this is Dr. Fielding that will be.
I've got the School of Human Services.
Okay, so we're going to go first to the School of Human Services and let them tell us what's going on with that building and what the students need to be doing to be prepared to come back and finish the semester. And so let's go ahead and play that now, Brandon.
Well, the School of Human Services and Social Sciences has departments across campus, but the most significant damage occurred at Brewer Hall. We have some windows out, we have a little bit of roof damage, but the most significant damage we have has been to our internet and to our phone services, which we've been told will be out for several weeks. However, we are excited about getting students back in the classroom. They look good. We have faculty and students that have been volunteering. We also have faculty and students that have been directly impacted by the storm. Everybody's working together through social media and email and text messages to communicate so we can try to address the needs where they exist, and so far it's been going very well. I was not surprised about the response, but I am amazed at how much progress has been made already. This is a very united community, both on and off campus, and I'm really excited about how committed people are to getting us back on campus and get this community back together again. I'm Maureen Newton, and I'm the Dean for the School of Human Services and Social Sciences, and we are JSU Strong.
Okay, well, we're back, and these are a little bit shorter videos. We're looking at what other videos that we have. Right now, we're going to try to take the one from the people at the International House, which actually had quite a bit of damage there as well, and we'll see what they have to say about all the upcoming activities related to the International House.
My name is Chandini Khatka, and I'm the Director of International Housing Programs here at Jacksonville State University. Well, when the tornado hit us on March 19th, fortunately our students were already out and they were on a spring break. Our house students who were staying back on campus, they were all moved to the Stadium Tower. So luckily they were all safe. However, we were not able to escape the physical damage that the tornado caused to our international building. The left side of the building, which is mainly the female dormitory area, has been severely damaged. It has roof damage and water damages and so forth. But in terms of our students' safety, they're all safe, they're all counted for, they all have been placed in other areas on campus. So we are good in terms of student safety. While it was really overwhelming to see all the damages on campus, I was just amazed at the outpouring wishes and concerns that I got from our former International House students and friends from the community. I know that right now the Capital Planning Division of our university is working really hard to clear the debris and to extract the water from the building. Right now they're doing at our building. They are putting some temporary protection on the roof so that we don't have further damage to the internal of our buildings. That is all I know at this time. I personally want to thank our alumni for sending us their support, contribution through gift cards and donations and checks, and sending us contribution through online services. I do want to say that we have a lot of work to do. So we really urge you to continuously support us. There are 3 different ways to do that. You could go online if you are our alumni living abroad. Probably that will be the best way, is to go to jsu.edu/giving and click on donate for disaster relief purpose. I ask that you mention International House and Programs on the remarks section so that your contribution goes to our program. The second way is to use your cell phone. So you could use the mobile cause account by texting JSU Strong, all caps, to 71777. So that's another way to give. Or you could use the traditional way like you've always done by sending the check. It can be made out to International Endowment Foundation and send it to us through mail. We will make sure that all of those contributions will be deposited to the International House Fund and that we use for disaster recovery purpose. I am Chandani Khatka. I'm the Director of International House and Programs. We are JSU Strong.
Soy Kenia Lopez.
Soy Jose.
Somos fuertes JSU.
Ahambu Precious Megwa and Aibu JSU Sirike.
म सबिन बन्चारा हामी JSU साहसी छौं.
We are JSU International House and we are
JSU Strong.
And welcome back, and another great video that Sebastian and his people put out on what's going on at JSU, especially with the folks at the International House. So just want to thank them for putting that information out for us to know more about what's happening here in Jacksonville for the students, for the teachers, where you need to go to class, where you need to report to. And you saw the mural building in that one. It was really gutted. It hit very hard, along with Brewer Hall, the Baptist Campus Ministries, as well as the nursing school, Adam. So, you know, really a lot of damage to Jacksonville State, but, you know, we're strong, and the plans are to get everything put back in order so that you, as a Jacksonville State University Gamecock teacher, faculty, friend of the university, will have a great campus to come back to as things are put back in order. But want to take another look at a different one. And Brenda, tell me what the name of this one is, and we'll be able to move to another video that was put together again, showing a little more footage of the campus and what's going on. So which is this one, Brenna?
School of Health Profession.
School of, did you catch that?
Health Profession.
Health, School of Health. Here we are, another video that will tell you more about what's going on by one of the directors here at Jacksonville State.
Well, initially we weren't sure what to expect. We began very quickly to survey our students. Even though it was spring break, faculty went into an immediate response mode in terms of communicating with students to determine needs, to refer them to the appropriate agencies and entities should we identify needs. So even though it was spring break, faculty rose to the occasion, assessed their students, and then figured out what our next steps should be in terms of classes, tests, things like that that were scheduled. Students are, and we've had a lot of questions about that. We did have to receive special approval through our provost to develop a unique plan for nursing in particular. In the School of Health Professions, we have respiratory therapy, nursing, and then kinesiology, which includes several programs. In nursing and respiratory therapy, both require delivery of all the content because that content is board testable. And we had to explain to students that there really was no content that we could eliminate to allow them to take the grade they currently had in those upper division professional programs. So we assessed the students in each cohort and we decided to move forward. And for those students who are impacted, they're able to go back and look at the recorded lectures. We're doing a Facebook Live today. We've held classes at Gadsden State. We're in a church right now, so we've had a great support from our community, from these different individuals for these agencies.
Talk about your faculty.
Oh my goodness. Our faculty are out and about right now. Dr. Gina Mabry, the Department Head of Kinesiology, has taken the helm in organizing meal delivery for people in the community, including the volunteers, and we identified a new need this week for those that are homebound. So those particular individuals who are most likely elderly and may not have the technological resources that a lot of others have to know what's going on through social media, did not have access to hot meals. And our faculty have been instrumental in taking nursing students this week door to door, looking to identify what the needs might be. And yesterday, the most impressive story was that they identified a woman who had been eating crackers for almost a week because she lost everything when the power failed. And our students put her on the list to receive meals, and she was amazingly appreciative and so thankful that they identified her as someone that could receive the needed resources. Our students are amazing. Our students who lost, many of them who lost everything, were out in the community yesterday serving the needs of others. And I can't say enough how amazing they are to respond to such a time of need as the community and the campus has. You know, an unprecedented disaster, and they have all risen to the occasion in every department that I'm responsible for and made sure that they were volunteering. We've communicated with them, I would say daily, but we have a student you'll hear from in a bit that can expound upon that, but we've communicated with them so those that are affected know what to do, and those that were wanting to communicate and with students who had needs and volunteer knew what to do. Well, I'm excited to report that we initially canceled our 5K for next weekend, April 7th, because of all that's going on campus. But we had a huge response from the running community, and we had a group from Parker Memorial Baptist Church agree to take over the run, use it to raise funds for tornado relief for nursing, and continue it on without any of us assisting, because as you know, many of us will be here next Saturday. So that is another huge accomplishment that we have had in terms of volunteers responding to help us move past this and keep moving, because we are JSU Strong, and the particular theme for this 5K has been changed to JSU Cocky Nursing Strong. So that's been tremendous for us to keep moving forward with a tiny bit of normalcy in the midst of all this. My name is Dr. Christy Shelton, Dean of the School of Health Professions and Wellness. We are JSU Strong.
Hi, I'm Tim Lindblom, Dean of the School of Science here at Jacksonville State University. Well, I grew up in the South, so I'm a little bit aware of the kinds of weather patterns that happen, and I'm also aware of the kind of love and support that people pour out when this kind of stuff happens. So I'm not going to say it's not shocking to go through, but I'm not surprised just given the community that we live in. So I have 3 departments in the School of Science, and one of them is Mathematical Computing and Information Sciences, and they're in Ayers Hall. Ayers is in great shape. Luckily, it was out of the direct path. I have 2 other departments, Biology and Chemistry and Geosciences, that are in the Martin and McGee buildings, and they took a pretty hard hit. So we're still waiting to find out if Martin Hall is going to be roofed in time for classes, and still an open question. It's amazing. My personal house was also had some damage, and on a couple of days after the event, I had JSU students showing up in my yard ready to tote limbs, and I happen to know that those students also lost their own apartments. So it's incredible to see people who are suffering loss who are volunteering to help other people. A lot of that's going on for sure. I'm Tim Lindblom, Dean of the School of Science, and we are JSU Strong.
As you can see, there's a lot going on at Jacksonville State University. The department heads, the deans, everybody is really pitching in to get everything back in order for you to come back to school as teachers, instructors, faculty, as well as they're all involved in this, as well as the students. And so pay attention to these videos, go to the website, and you can get all the information that you need on exactly what you should be doing and all the hard work that's taking place to get everything back to normal. We're going to do Dr. Turner right now from the School of Education, and let him say a little bit about what's going on with the School of Education.
Well, the School of Education is very, very fortunate in that we have received very little damage to our building, which is immediately behind us, Ramona Wood. There is some water damage there, but it's minimal compared to a lot of other places on campus. One of our departments is across the street, even further back in Mason Hall, and that building houses the Family and Consumer Science Department, and they did have significant water damage there, but it's still, it has still been spared of some of the traumatic damage that a lot of other buildings on campus have. So we're really in good shape. Well, they have been very busy communicating with students. Students, of course, are feeling in jeopardy, and they feel uncertain about how they're going to proceed, and so they've been busy mostly communicating with students and one another. Some of them were affected by the storm themselves with housing. Some of them have taken in refugees, if you will. They've taken in persons who lost their housing and are living with them. Some of them are volunteering at the volunteer center here and some other places. And of course, a lot of our students are not only displaced, but even some of the displaced students are helping others during this particular week. Well, I was told that we had over 2,000 volunteers in here last Saturday, and so that itself is a huge number and indicates the kind of camaraderie and support and just the desire that people have to help when there's a tragedy like this. And so it's just been monumental. I personally have had contact and calls and emails from all over the state of Alabama, from other universities and other individuals who are wanting to help. Some of them have brought groups here already. And so it's just been phenomenal how people come together with this kind of event. Well, I'm Tommy Turner, Dean of the School of Education, and we are JSU Strong.
Thank you for all that great information, and I hope you've enjoyed getting all that kind of wrapped up in one spot. For those of you watching Alabama Film Community TV live tonight on Facebook and on YouTube, please share it and let everybody know what's going on here at Longleaf Studios. Hey, don't forget, Longleaf is wide open. We'd love for you to bring your independent film, your film here. If you've got another script or you're a director, producer, be sure to give us a call. Talk to Logan Justice, who can give you all the information you need on how to rent and utilize the facilities here at Longleaf Studios. If you'd like to be a part of our film class, the class starts every Tuesday night at 5 o'clock. We generally have, between 15 and 20 people here every Tuesday. There's about 50 people on the list. And these are people that when a director or an independent director come here, that they will be first to be hired to help produce the movies that are coming into Longleaf Studios as we grow our projects here. So I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. Remember David Finlinson, who's out there recuperating from some major surgery, and all the other people. I want to say hey to Bobby Hayden Jr. and Lexi. On Friday night, we had the opportunity to go out to Duggar Mountain Music Hall, which is a recording studio here just south of Piedmont, where they tracked some new audio for the short film that we're doing for Bobby Hayden and Lexi Lacani. And Ben, you did an excellent job out there at Duggar Mountain Music Hall. And if you need audio and music and soundtrack and everything tracked for a film, there's a great place within about 10 miles of right here at Longleaf Studios that is available for you to be able to go out there and do your film production as far as retracking audio and music tracks, and some great musicians here in the area. So don't forget about that as well. And there are many, many other things developing here in Northeast Alabama related to the film business. Remember, there's Yellowhammer Film Club, Adam, that is just up the road from here. Tim Brunson, and they're doing some short films, and they will be here hopefully Thursday night, Tim and his family. Jamie Moore and his group up in the Gadsden area, of a longtime film and video maker, and Tom Potts and Potts Production, and so Potts Marketing. So Adam, it's really a very good marketing and film industry already here. A number of people drive from here over to Atlanta and go to Birmingham. What we want to do is bring you here, help you stay home in our area. All the beautiful landscape and things that go right here in Northeast Alabama, that's what Longleaf Studios is for and about. And we'd like to see you bring your next film right here to Longleaf Studios, Jacksonville, Alabama. And plenty of places to stay, eat, and it's a great place to come make your movies and anything else that you'd like to make. Again, Thursday night, be sure to go to longleafstudios.com and register for the film that is going to be here. And we'd like to see you come out and enjoy that. We need to get a good head count so that we can have the right refreshments. And we'll be live on Thursday night again with the film, Bending the Arc. So thank you, Adam, for being here tonight.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for Sebastian, all the videos that are provided. They're out there on YouTube. They're out there on Facebook. And find out more about how you can help Jacksonville State as we rebuild. And we're Jacksonville strong. And Longleaf Studios would like to thank all the crew that was here tonight, Adam and Lionel and James and Brenna and whoever's on the cell phone, and Tony. And Tony, welcome back. Tony had some major surgery too. Tony, can you kick that mic on a second over there?
Yeah, I got it on.
All right, that's Tony Castaneda. And Tony, welcome back, and we're so glad to have you after your surgery helping out with our film class and all the great things and stuff you bring to it.
Man, I look forward to this every single week.
All right, so it's Tony and Brenna over there running the show, and our camera guys, and Adam, thank you. That's going to do it for Alabama Film Community TV tonight, as I'm watching which camera that we're going to. And we'll see you next Tuesday night for episode 7. We're trying to get Sandra Ellis Lafferty down here. She was supposed to be here on the 19th, but the storm kept her out. She had an audition coming up the next week, so we'll try to get her in here. And if you've ever met Sandra, she's a wonderful actress, has been around the film and acting community for years, and would love to have her sit with us and talk about film to our class. And if you'd like to be a part of it, be sure to be here on Tuesday nights, 5 o'clock, Longleaf Studios. And that'll do it for the crew. I'm Alan Rhodes and Adam Rhodes, and we'll see you next week.